welcome to the zoo.
Why am I here?
Minions of the Zoo is a lovable ragtag group of misfits that sprang up initially as a fan group to Ranting Monkey, Scribelite, Some Dumb American, and their joint Lords of the Night livestream show. Late night discussions in Discord quickly evolved into streams of their own, with each member bringing something new and different to the table for discussion. Led by the incomparable Reject PPC and the One-Ton Hammer, the group rotates hosts known as Zookeepers.
Hello everybody and welcome to Minions of the Zoo. I am your host for this evening, One-Ton Hammer.
I will be your zookeeper tonight, Reject.
Alright, and welcome to the zoo. I am the Lucky Pop-Tart Inquisitor.
Sanguine.
Skep, Tock.
I'm Prospero.
Fat Platypus.
Chaosy.
And I'm Della Hazed.
Regular streamers, they're known as minions. And special guests are known as traveling exhibits. They're on a nightly basis, so that each show has something unique and fresh for our audience. Minions of the Zoo currently streams at 10:30 Central Standard, 11:30 Eastern Standard Time.
Can you hear us now? I do like seeing people decorate their homes. Usually it's only Christmas where I really get to see it up down here, but no, it would be nice to see like Halloween decorations if I ever went to America or something. It seems like I'm the only one they can hear. So, yeah. More audio troubles.
Yeah, this fucking thing. Can you hear me now?
Did you hear Adam, everyone? Oh, I guess they'll tell us whether they can hear you or not.
Keep going. I don't know. You know, maybe there's foul play afoot.
Oh, good. They can hear you. Okay, all good.
Yeah, no, I got a different headset and it's running from Bluetooth. I don't think I'm gonna be using the Bluetooth headset anymore. I think I'm gonna have to go with
Probably a good idea.
Yeah, a USB dongle. Because this keeps changing up the input for it, so
Hammer was having that trouble with using his webcam microphone, and he sounded like total garbage and then he had to like drop and come back and have it detect his proper mic. And then suddenly he sounded normal again. So yeah, it happens to everyone.
Yeah. But yeah, we can still talk about spooky stuff.
Yeah.
I was going by, should we go with video game route? Creepy video games.
Sure.
And we were kind of talking about it with Shadowgate.
Yeah. That's a great game. Okay, no, it wasn't a great game. It was a game that I liked a lot.
It's fun. It's fun even if you fail at it, you know.
You will fail.
You will.
Guaranteed.
Oh yes. Wasn't there another one though?
Uninvited.
Uninvited. Yes. It was Kepco.
Kemco, yes.
Yes, not Konami or Capcom.
No. It's Kemco.
Kemco.
I mean, I preferred Shadowgate because that's the one I owned. But I mean, they were both equally good. They're both
Shit.
much the same game.
Yeah. A sort of a point and click. I think Shadowgate started on a Macintosh.
Could be. I played it on the NES.
Yeah, that's where I played it. That and Uninvited, both of them. Have you ever? I wanted to play, because like I said, like I was telling Terry while we were setting up the show, I originally intended to play some older games on my Wii, that has been I don't know, sort of borged, so I could play a whole mess of games, and I really wanted to play Monster Party, because that is by far my favorite like horror game type of thing. Hold on, give me a second. And
I don't think I've played Monster Party actually.
It's from Bandai. Before it became Bandai Namco.
Right.
It's just a really odd game. I guess apparently it was supposed to be a game about the Universal classic monsters.
Okay.
But they lost the rights, I guess, or they couldn't do it, so they had to make up their own.
Right.
And it's crazy, but it's a good game. Difficult, but good game. There was one.
As
game...
I was meant.
Oh.
So?
No. What game were you talking about?
Oh, I was going to say, as we were saying before the stream, Triple KO podcast had an entire episode on spooky themed fighting games, and there's a lot more than just Darkstalkers. Because I thought it was just going to be, basically an episode on Darkstalkers, but they came up with a whole bunch of them, and most of them are crap, of course, but there's a lot of them, which is interesting.
Did they have Clay Fighter on there?
They did not consider that to be a horror.
Oh,
themed,
come on.
I forget who. Someone did suggest it, but they basically dismissed it as no.
It's a joke. It's a, because even if you would consider like Jason Voorhees or Freddy in Mortal Kombat, they aren't horror games, or are they?
I mean, they're guest characters. They're not main cast. I don't think that counts. They did get mentioned in the show, and I don't think that counts as a horror game. Just because there's a couple of guest stars from horror movies in it. They did actually consider Killer Instinct. They said that counts as a horror themed fighting game, which surprised me. But I guess I can see it. I mean, there's a werewolf, there's a skeleton, there's a vampire in the 2013 one. I mean, technically maybe, but it doesn't have a horror feel to it.
No,
So.
it's more sci-fi, if anything.
Yeah, no, I never once considered it a horror-themed fighting game until they suggested it, and I was like, well, you could stretch the definition to include it if you really wanted to, but I don't think it counts.
Yeah, if you really wanted to. But then again, that goes into the whole, if we talk about movies and the horror genre as opposed to, is it going to be a psychological horror drama? Hell, I just recently saw a video talking about how The Shining is... Apparently somebody made a video about how The Shining was about Shelley Duvall being psychotic, and she's hallucinating everything.
Oh, okay.
And this guy was debunking it. But even at that, like, first of all, I've never seen The Shining, so
Yeah, me neither.
yeah, I'm sitting there, I'm like, I wasn't aware that there was that whole... I thought it was just about them hanging out in a hotel that was haunted, but all right. People can see that much into it, you know. Good for them.
People read too much into everything. It's just
Yes.
what people do.
Yes. I don't know. But in terms of games, what do you think about those games where it's like I was kind of looking at the Friday the 13th game where one person plays as Jason, and then the other people.
Is that Dead by Daylight? Is that the one?
Well, no, I think it's a whole standalone thing. At least that's what I saw on Steam.
Oh, okay.
But I wouldn't mind playing one of those, but I don't know. Is it really a scary game, or is it more of a? Does it turn into, a Counter-Strike shit?
I don't know. I've never played it. I don't know. I guess if it's based on Friday the 13th, it's got a decent case for being a horror-themed game.
I mean, if it was using Freddy, that might be cool, because maybe he has supernatural shit.
Yeah, Freddy's a weird one, because, like, the Freddy from Nightmare on Elm Street 1 is so different to what he turned into.
Well, hold on. So, are you someone who has seen the movies? Because again, I have
a handful
not
of them. I haven't like watched the entire series, but I've seen a handful.
Yeah, I think might have seen a bit from few. And in terms of both, I guess Freddy and Jason. Yeah, I saw Freddy vs. Jason. But
yeah, I saw that one too.
yeah. But no, I don't know. I just never really was into the horror stuff. But crazy enough, I am into like people doing EVPs or fucking oh shit, we caught this on video camera. Like that stuff's always like, oh shit, yeah, I want to see that.
I just thought of something. You know what game is on Steam that you might like?
What's that?
Fury of Dracula.
What?
Fury of Dracula. It's based on a board game. And the idea is that one player is Dracula, and he's got to, like, hide or escape. Or I forget the exact thing Dracula's trying to do, but all the other players are trying to catch Dracula, and, like, he's moving around the board in secret, but if the hunters cross his path, he has to tell them, yeah, I was there, like, 4 turns ago. And then they've got to try and narrow down where Dracula's hiding. If you want sort of like one versus everyone, that's a good example of it.
Is this a new game?
It's a board game that they made a video game adaptation of. So you can get the board game, but I think the video game covers like it enforces the rules so that the players don't have to worry about, you know, keeping track of quite so much. It handles all the administration and upkeep.
I have to check it out. I'm always fond
And then
of new board
if they
games.
find Dracula, they then have to fight him, which is another like next step. Once you find him, you've got to kill him, but he can escape, and then you've got to hunt him down again.
I like the concept, and it's a board game.
It is a board game. It was a board game first, and then they said, "Hey, let's make a video game out of this," and they're selling it on Steam.
Of course they are.
From what I've heard, there is an AI, so like I could play it solo, but the AI is so terrible that it is almost impossible to lose, which does kind of ruin things. People were saying that they were playing as Dracula, and they just had to waste turns because the AI was just useless at everything.
Ooh, well, that's no fun.
So, no. It's the kind of game you really need to be playing against other people from the sound of things.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's, that's where it gets a bit fishy,
And yeah, but no, I think today's the last day of the Steam Halloween sale, so go check that out if you want cheap games.
Well, I don't know. I think I spend my quota for this bit.
I did spend some money on this sale. That is true.
It gets you every time.
Well, mostly
There's
because of the
always
Triple KO. Triple KO did their episode of the horror fighting games. It's like, sure, I'll buy Terradrome. Sure, I'll buy whatever the other ones were. I can't remember the names of them all, but sure. I mean, it's cheap. I'll buy it. I'll never get to play it. I've got like 2,000 other games I've got to play first, but it's going on the list.
Yeah, and then next thing you know, you have it on your library, and it says you've played half an hour of it. It's
Yeah.
shit.
I was impressed. I thought I had a lot of games, and then Jaeger Pony sent me his Steam page. And it's like, okay, he's got about 7,500 games. That's like triple what I've got.
Yeah.
So that's insane.
Dude, yeah. When people build their libraries up to past the hundreds, like.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. I don't think I'll ever get to 7,500 Steam games. That's not something that I think is a sensible thing for me to aim towards. I think I have more important things to spend my money on.
Well, I think at that point too, it becomes
Collection for the sake of collecting.
Yeah, you see a game that's on sale that you may want to play, pick it up just on just to get it.
Yeah. Plus, it always, it's nice to see a big number. So you're like, yeah, I'm never gonna play them, but I own this many games.
Scrooge McDuck syndrome. You're gonna go diving in your Steam library.
If there's a way to turn it into gold coins, absolutely.
Yep.
That was funny. The DuckTales cartoon with Scrooge. I used to love that thing as a kid.
Yeah, honestly, I think I remember the game more than I remember the cartoon series, to be honest.
Sorry, there's a truck just drove past. I didn't hear a word of it.
Oh. I said I think I remember the game more than I remember the cartoon.
Cartoon.
Yeah. I
The
remember
game
the
was
movie.
amazing.
Well, yeah, I love the game. That's something But yeah, dude, let's play some DuckTales. But, I mean, hey, you can't deny that that's what kicked off the Saturday morning resurgence of cartoons. So
Yeah. But I do think it's funny that I was typing in DuckTales into Google one time, and it knew what I wanted. It auto-filled Moon theme. It's like the best piece of music from the entire game is the Moon theme. Like, Google, you've been paying attention.
well, it's, reading your mind.
Yeah.
Pretty sure that I saw in the agreement that you're supposed to sign, it says we're gonna read your mind.
Google is insanely good. Like, I remember one time I did a search for game where you take photos of robots. That was literally the only thing I knew about the game. I remembered it from when I was a little kid. I played a game where you take photos of robots, and that was enough for it to work out that I meant Midnight Rescue. That's insane. It just, oh yeah, that the game where you take photos of robots. Yeah, that's clearly Midnight Rescue. Here's a bunch of results on Midnight Rescue.
Okay, yeah, that's kind of creepy. That's getting into. Are they really reading your mind? I mean, are they?
I don't know. I mean, obviously they're not reading your mind. They're just using all the data that they've collected on you to run algorithms on your habits and tastes and know what you're likely to search for. But even so, that's very impressive to get the exact game based on such a vague description.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it could also be, they're pulling in every other interaction that you did with them, to
exactly
to add to it.
They just look at my online history and go, okay, this is likely what he's looking for. Give him that. And yeah, no, they're very good. They're insane at how good they are at finding things.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think we should say hi to the chat? Give them a little bit of a.
They know we love them. We don't need to actually say it.
Oh, there you go. There's your chicken and treatin'. Oh shit! Yeah, well, you're not Halloween time. Wait. So, what about things that creep you out? That kind of give you that uneasy feeling when you interact with it. And I'll give you an example. For me, it's backmasking.
What's that?
It's music or speech that's played in reverse.
Oh right, yeah.
It's just an eerie sound, and it all the hairs will just start rising, right? But yeah, something like that. What's something like that?
I don't think there's any. I
Get
can't
outta
think
here.
of. Like, not really. I mean, I'm very good at going, yeah, but it's not real. Like, I don't get scared watching movies because I'm very aware that I'm looking at a screen. None of this is actually happening.
Oh yeah.
So I won't get scared by scary movies because I'm not. I guess I'm just not sufficiently immersed. I'm too outside of the experience. I'm okay, yeah, but that's not real. It's like that my brain won't let go of that understanding. So
Hold on. Okay, so have you ever experienced a paranormal experience? I shouldn't have said that twice, but no. So you've never heard a faint voice or seen like a glowing orb or just a shadow figure? Nothing?
No, really nothing. I think part of it is because from a very young age I was told that such things don't exist. So I guess I was primed against seeing them. So what other people might have interpreted in that way, I didn't see them as supernatural because I'd been told there is no supernatural, that doesn't exist.
Dude, that's crazy. It's pretty much you've conditioned a barrier.
Yeah, could be. And Cannibalistic Wizard says I'm scared of emus. Look, okay, apart from emus, but that goes without saying.
Well, that's a sore spot for many Australians.
Don't mention the wall.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. I don't know, man. All right. As a little side note, because we're supposed to be sticking with the spooky, scary stuff. What about UFOs?
UFOs are interesting because, strictly speaking, a UFO is just anything that you don't know what it is. Like, it's just an unidentified flying object, so it could be a frisbee. But if you don't know what it is, it's a UFO. So, I mean, sure, I've seen stuff in the sky and gone, huh, what's that? Strictly speaking, that counts.
Oh, well, yeah, that's true. Could be a firefly that you'd never seen before.
Yeah,
you
could
didn't
be
know
anything.
what it was. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of a vague explanation for it, I think.
Yeah. I think they came up with a new term for it because UFO was inadequate. I don't know what the new term is. I saw it ages ago, but
no, yeah, that's when the Tic Tac video came out. And I only bring this up because last week I was watching a couple of the Joe Rogan podcasts of him talking to Bob Lazar and I can't remember who the journalist was. And of course Alex Jones, because everybody loves.
Of course.
Alex Jones.
Is awesome.
It's it's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, come on, man. We may not know, but there is something out there, and
I mean, it's entirely possible. It's just that I've not seen anything to suggest it, which, as I said, may have been a result of my childhood being told that such things don't exist and therefore not really looking for them.
yeah, that's true. And honestly, I think that mentality kind of, I don't know, I guess prevents you from seeing some stuff, like
I mean, yeah, for sure. But it's funny, it did bite my mum in the ass because she, like, I was at the point where I was like, how does Santa get around the entire world in one night? And my mum said, oh no, it's magic. And immediately I said, no, you said there's no such thing as magic. And like she's like, So that's how I figured out that Santa wasn't real, is because I used my mum's own words against her. And she was caught off guard.
First off, I can't believe we're already bringing Christmas into it, and technically it's supposed to be this spooktacular show. We're not gonna play
Would it be
Mariah
Christmas
Carey's Christmas.
Would it be Christmas if it didn't overtake Halloween?
That is true. That has become a tradition. Shit. I don't know. With that, it's just one of those. I don't know. It's doing the Bloody Mary, in the mirror or Candyman. It's running across Mothman. I think some of these spooky stuff that we can see, or that people claim to have come across, it's fun to play around with time to time, especially this evening. Well, at least in the Americas for the next couple of hours.
Yeah. What's the time over there for you?
8:30.
Okay, so yeah, you've got like 3.5 hours left of Halloween.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess in terms of levels for Halloween, the children level, where it's you dress up in a costume of your favorite character and go around getting candy. That ended a while ago. I think the official time. It's kind of weird that they have an official time, but the official time is between 4 and 6, I think.
Okay.
So yeah, when I was driving home, I saw a bunch of kids in costumes, and like I said, it was cool to see. Of course they were with their parents and all that. So but
I'm surprised they did trick or treat night on the same night.
Holy shit! Is that Sanguine?
Yep, I'm jumping in for a short bit because you said to pop by, and I said I would try, and this is the opportunity that I have.
I said my favorite cartoon character is Popeye. But hey, welcome, sir. How you doing, man?
I'm doing fairly well. Just scarfing the last of my dinner, then going to get the rest of the way ready for work and charge off here before 9. But when you're talking about what you were planning on doing during the show, you said that you were somewhat interested in me hopping on, sharing a quick story, and then heading off if I need to.
Yes. Do you have a story?
So I have a few different stories. I'll give you the choice of which one you want to hear.
One about the coconut nut.
The coconut nut is a giant nut. If you eat too much, you get very fat. But in all seriousness, I have 2 that are stories from my own life, and then I have 1 that is an old story. So the 2 that are stories from my own life, I could tell the story of meeting Taniyama. I could tell the walking into the mist story, or I could tell the old one, which is the story of Stingy Jack.
Oh, Stingy Jack. I mean, he has a name.
Yeah,
so you want to hear
United every week.
So you want to hear the story of Stingy Jack?
That's good.
I'd like to hear more of his tale.
Okay, so Stingy Jack is a character of myth and lore. So Stingy Jack was a confidence man who was always loath to spend his own money, hence his moniker of Stingy Jack. But he was considerably more libertine with other people's cash. So what he would do... That's
usually the case.
Yeah, what he would do is he would get in close with someone and he would convince them to give him more money, to pay for his drinks, to pay for his dinner, with the promise of, at one point, getting a reward from him of some extent, whether it be a more carnally sorted type of reward, or whether he was acting as if he was some big, important noble, or merchant from a neighboring town that would surely do business with you, fine sir, if you paid for his meal and you paid for his drink.
Sounds a lot like the Nigerian prince that just keeps emailing everyone.
Yes, very similar. So
He swears the money's coming.
he was extremely charismatic, was able to talk people out of their coin with his golden tongue, but even a tongue so fine and nimble as his could be improved. And he had a very specific way that he was going to improve his ability. He made a deal with the devil.
And those always go well.
Yep.
Fail.
So, Stingy Jack's deal with the devil was that his tongue would be made even finer at the cost of his soul. The deal was made, the deal was signed by both parties, and Stingy Jack now could print money with his tongue effectively. He was able to charm anyone out of their possessions. And so he went on for a good while, conning people from this village or that, merchants, lords, small nobles, and various other sorts, until it came a time that he decided he didn't like the cost that he had had to agree to pay. So he again called up the devil. This time he said it was not to make a deal, it was merely to have a few drinks. So they sat down in a tavern and they drank their fill. And at the end of the night, when it came time to come even with the bar, Stingy Jack worked his particular skill. And he talked to the devil and said, "Isn't it a shame that we will have to spend our hard-earned gold in order to afford these drinks? But wait a moment, you're able to transform your shape, are you not?" And the devil agreed, and he said, "So we could actually play a bit of a game on this barkeep here. If you turned into a gold coin, we could use you to pay for our drinks, and neither of us would be out anything. And what's more, if you really were so inclined to wreak a bit more havoc, after he put you away with the rest of his money and he fell asleep for the night, now you know where his money is, and it has no guard, no keep, nothing that could keep you from it."
Smart man.
Yeah.
The devil found this a rather amusing idea. So, as the barkeep busied himself with tasks like cleaning up around the tavern, the devil turned into a gold coin and fell upon the table with a loud clang. And Stingy Jack, as quick as can be, snatched up the gold coin from the table, stuck it into his own purse, which he had a blessed silver cross within. And the cross was pressed up close against that devil's coin and held there, held so firm that it would not budge, and by the blessed cross pressed against the devil's gold, the devil could not shift his form. So the devil was now trapped within Stingy Jack's purse. But Stingy Jack still had to deal with the matter of the barkeep, but with his golden tongue, it was a minor thing to convince the barkeep that, "Oh, I'm sorry, my friend was meant to pay, but then he ended up having a problem. He ran away. I'll have to come back. I'll be here first thing in the morning with all the money that I owe you. Plus, I will pay you extra for the fact that I've put you out for the night. If you'll just allow me this, please, I beg of you, sir, will you allow me to do this? And I need to make amends, so I will double what I was intending to pay." And he pled, he spoke, and his words were so fine, so gilt with gold, that the barkeep agreed, and never saw Stingy Jack again the moment that the door closed behind him. So Stingy Jack continued to walk the land. Now he had the devil within his own coin purse, unable to do anything, unable to wreak any harm against him, for he was bound to the form of a golden coin within his purse. But the devil still had something that he could do. He could annoy the ever-living shit out of Stingy Jack the entire time that he was being carried, because while he was trapped in that form, it does not mean that his mind could not wander, and in its wandering find that of Stingy Jack, and annoy and plead and bargain with Stingy Jack, day after day, hour after hour, ceaseless, without a rest, in the night, in the morning, in the midday, at evening time. The devil's voice was still heard within Stingy Jack's head, but as Stingy Jack chose to ignore it, chose to just push it away at every opportunity, the devil became ever more desperate. He was trapped. And if Stingy Jack should die before he was freed, would he ever be freed? Would anyone ever think to look into the purse of Stingy Jack and remove the silver cross, the blessed silver cross pressed against this golden coin, so that the devil would be free again? So in time, Stingy Jack started to grow tired of the devil's pleading, and the devil grew ever more desperate to be free. Until eventually, Stingy Jack said, "I'm willing to make a deal with you, devil." And the devil immediately agreed that he would relinquish any claim to Stingy Jack's soul, and what is more, not only would he relinquish claim to Stingy Jack's soul, but he would never allow Stingy Jack to ever dwell within hell. So Stingy Jack got to keep his golden tongue, and now he was free of the threat of hellfire, and his soul was once again his own. So he agreed to the deal. They made it ironclad. It held fast, and Stingy Jack removed that blessed cross from the coin, and as soon as the cross came off the gold, the devil sprang within its place, and then disappeared promptly thereafter. Now Stingy Jack, free of the threat of hell, free of the threat of the devil owning his soul, he decided that he would continue on, and now since he had no worry of hell, there was no reason for him ever to consider turning his ways from those he was most content with. So he continued to scam, he continued to cheat, he continued to lie to gain confidence and take people for everything that they were worth, always growing his own wealth and never having to spend even one of his own coin. But Stingy Jack was still mortal. And as all mortal lives must, eventually Stingy Jack grew old. And eventually he grew sickly. And eventually Stingy Jack
You should have
died.
added that to the bargain with the devil. That's on him.
So the thing was, he could not go to hell, so surely if he cannot go to hell, then it would be heaven's gates that would open for him. But you see, Stingy Jack was an unrepentant sinner. Stingy Jack lied and cheated and stole. Stingy Jack swindled people, honest people, good people, out of hard-earned coin. So how could heaven's gates open for one such as he? Especially when he was unrepentant until his very death. So when he died, he found the gates of heaven barred to him, and hell denied from him. So he was forced to wander. Now, heaven is not without mercy, so while it wouldn't open the gates for Stingy Jack, it decided that Stingy Jack should have a light in order to one day perhaps find his way home. But the devil, still rather cross with what Stingy Jack had subjected him to, and still able to work his ways upon the world, saw that flame enkindled, and then he cursed it. Stingy Jack's flame would constantly gutter, constantly try to be blown out. Every time he would shield it from one direction, the winds would shift to blow from another, and it was always in danger that it would go out, and with the guttering of that light, Stingy Jack would be left in darkness. So Stingy Jack did the only thing that he could think of. As his flame was trying to blow out, he quickly plucked up a turnip and he pulled out a small knife and he started to carve furiously until he made a small lantern, and he stuck the flame within the lantern, shielding it from the winds and allowing it to survive, at least for a time, at least until that turnip would rot. And then he would have to find another and carve it too. As he wandered, people would see his light, see this lantern, and they took some pity on this poor soul, for he only had his light to see by. But what if they made lights in a similar fashion? What if they did so when the dead and the living were the closest that they could be? What if they did it on All Hallows Eve? So people started to likewise carve turnips. And within the large turnip, they would light a candle or some other sort of torch, and they would display it outside so that Stingy Jack, for at least one night every year, would be able to see as clear as day as these lanterns lit his way. Not only his lantern, but all these lanterns of a similar sort. And this is how Stingy Jack earned his second name, Jacko the Lanterns. As this tradition spread from the shores of Ireland and grew, eventually it came to America, and turnips, while they were common, they weren't very large and they were slightly annoying to carve. But there were these massive fucking gourds all over the place. So rather than carve this turnip that could be about the size of a softball, if you were lucky, maybe a little bit larger, no, why not go for a pumpkin of that nice, easy to carve size and shape? And it worked just as fine as the turnips did. Surely it would. So Jack would not only be able to see within Ireland, but Jack would be able to see wherever this tradition spread. And he would be able to see where the Jack-o'-lanterns spread. So Jack of the Lantern could follow the Jack-o'-lanterns. That is the story of Stingy Jack.
Stingy Jack.
Nice.
You know, I've seen some of the turnips, the carved turnips, and
Yep.
when they put the detail in the teeth, yeah, it's pretty creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got
And if
something like
anyone-
that out there in Australia, there, Terry?
Not that I'm aware of. I think we'd be looking at Aboriginal tales, and I'm not familiar with
Well,
them.
hold on. You guys probably don't even have, like, turnips or pumpkins to begin with, right?
Stingy Jack is fucked in Australia is what we're learning.
Yeah, he's nowhere to be found.
Maybe that's why we don't do Halloween.
Yeah. Stingy Jack. Wait, do you have
You
Johnny
just decided,
Appleseed?
fuck Stingy Jack, let him rot. If he goes blind within Australia, better off for everyone else. Fuck that cunt.
I mean, the guy sounds like a real prick. I don't think we're in the wrong here.
Yeah.
But
Turns
one-
out all the people that were descended from the various sorts that Stingy Jack ripped off were one day sent off to a faraway island in the middle of the Pacific. And they ended up forming up their own culture of, you remember that Stingy Jack fucker? Fuck Stingy Jack, I hope his lantern blows out. Not a single fucking lantern in our country.
That's right.
That's all it took. That's all it took.
Yeah.
Stingy Jack.
But yes, that is the story of Jack-o'-lanterns, which is more accurately the story of Stingy Jack.
I like it. You see, not only I think this was a good show in terms of we talked about some good horror games, and then we still had the history bit with Stinky Jack or Stingy Jack.
Stingy Jack. Stinky Jack is an entirely different person. I hear that he plays Jackbox.
No. I think there's a book.
I'm surprised Terry. There we go.
No, there's.
I was waiting for Terry's chuckle.
There's a book called Sticky Cheese Man, and I think that's what my brain was going.
It's, but before we do get off the subject, I looked it up on Wikipedia, and it's interesting the difference between their version of the story and Sanguine's.
Wait, what do you mean?
The Wikipedia one says that Stingy Jack only got a 10-year reprieve from having his soul taken, and then he actually tricked the devil a second time, and the second time is when he got, okay, look, you're just not allowed in hell.
Oh, yes, I think I've heard of that one, where he.
But also, the Wikipedia one doesn't have Satan cursing the flame. That's just left out entirely.
Okay, yeah. I know there was the triple dealing version of it. I prefer the double dealing. It ends up being a little bit tidier of a story.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there is the triple deal where he makes his initial deal, then he makes a secondary deal that's just a placeholder deal functionally, and then he makes the final deal, which is that his soul is forever banned from hell.
Yeah. In the Wikipedia one, the flame never gets cursed. He just has to roam around with nothing but an ember to light his way. And I'm not sure why he puts it in a turnip. It doesn't really explain that.
Because, I mean, they make
he does.
Good candles.
Yeah, that's an incomplete telling, then, in my opinion. If it doesn't explain
I agree.
why.
The flickering out is required to explain why the turnip came into play.
Mm-hmm.
It just says, no, he's got an ember to light his way. He's doomed to roam the world between the planes of good and evil with only an ember inside a hollowed turnip.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, it just seems rather wanting if they leave it there, because
Yeah,
why
no,
the
I
fuck
agree.
a turnip? Why the fuck not? Because there's so many things that you could do rather than
The
pick
turnip.
up a turnip and go, I'm gonna carve this fucker into a lantern.
Yeah,
Especially if you have the time. Why not just get a lantern?
exactly.
Don't fuck around with having to carve it. Whereas if you're worried every time that when you take it out of this turnip, it's going to blow out, it makes sense that every time that you change it, it's kind of this, oh shit, oh fuck, okay, this is what I have handy. There we go, it's
Yeah.
in here, it's still lit, fuck's sake.
I think without that devil cursing the flame, the story doesn't really make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, it's an old, Gaelic or Irish story?
Old Irish.
It's Irish.
Old Irish. So, I mean, it could have just been made in fun, right?
It's probably a Christianized version of a older telling, that happens a lot when it comes to Irish mythology.
Yeah.
So, for instance, when you're reading one of the earliest accounts of Irish mythology is actually penned by Irish Catholic monks. And they end up having the Tuatha De Danann be usurped by Catholics coming to Ireland, and they're driven from the lands above. Some of them end up swearing fealty to the Catholics, and thus are later turned into saints. Saint Briat is actually the Tuatha De Danann, Briat. And then others are kind of consigned as devils. Cernunnos is one of the best examples of a god that's kind of consigned as a devil. And that's just because a sad element of how he's depicted, because Cernunnos is the horned god of the wilds. So he has stag horns typically, but then he has cloven-hooved feet.
I see the problem already.
Yeah. And was
Can't find some good fitting shoes.
a being that was always kind of somewhat mysterious, kind of shrouded in darkness, that you would have to give offerings to in order to survive on a trip, in order to survive going out into the wilds. So with all of that, the Catholics just went, well, this is the fucking devil, isn't it? Not Cernunnos, he's just another name for the devil.
Yes.
And they started making him the devil. And then there's another one, which is
Bobby
Kindle.
Boucher, women are the devil.
I think it's Kindle is the other one that is normally turned into a satanic figure. And that's the one that in the Christian versions of the tellings about the Dullahan, it ends up making Céin the Céin in disguise the Dullahan being the headless horseman.
Okay.
So
shit. Yeah,
it
what's
ends
his,
up making a demon out of that.
What was the dude's name?
Ichabod Crane?
Ichabod Crane.
I'm guessing you're referring to
The bridge and all that.
I prefer his brother Fraser.
Ichabod.
Nice.
Well,
But it is that time that I need to charge off. I was at least able to get the story told in full. So
Yes,
and you did
it's a good story.
yeah, you did a wonderful job.
thank you very much.
Thank you for popping in and sharing that story. And
It was fun being able to pop in and tell a tale.
and we got a nice little tale of
Now we know that Jack
Stingy
is extremely stingy. That
Oh.
this was worth it.
Stingy Jack
Stingy
of the Lanterns.
Jack. Yes. I'm sorry. Like I said, I can't fucking. It's the stinky part. But Stingy Jack. We got the tale of Stingy Jack and turnips being jack-o'-lanterns.
Mm-hmm.
Now there's a word that means stingy that, even though it's perfectly innocent, I probably shouldn't say on YouTube.
Well, no. And hey.
Now I'm worried, or no, not worried. Now I'm curious what the Aussieism is.
Yeah, what is it?
No, it's not an Australian word. I was going to go with niggardly.
Oh, yes.
Oh, well.
A man lost his political career over good diction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's crazy.
But yes.
The word has nothing to do with the racial slur at all.
Entirely different etymology.
Yeah.
But as I said, I have to head off, so I shall chat with you guys later.
Well,
Have a good night, all.
Well, hold on.
Catch you later, Sanguine.
Sanguine.
Yep.
We've hit the hour mark, so I think
you want me to just do my parting words and then fuck off?
Well, I think the three of us could do the same.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, Terry. Are you good?
Yeah. I'm fine with it. We usually only stream for an hour anyway.
Yeah,
I'll jump in with my parting words then, because I do need to rush off. I'm a
Well, there you
little
go.
bit over time. So, if you're passionate about something, make sure that you devour it. Don't let it devour you. And with that, have a good night, all. See you later, you two, and enjoy closing out.
Nice things. Terry, anything you want to close out with?
I do remember a wise man saying, if you're passionate about something, make sure you devour it. Don't let it devour you. So I think I'll stick with that.
I mean, you said he's a wise man, right?
Yeah.
All right, well, that's good enough for me. I think we had a good show. I think we talked about some good spooky stuff for Halloween. I wish I had gotten the spooky scary skeleton video, but before we started, I saw that we were struck with some struck, so I'm like, probably shouldn't post any videos.
Oh dear, yes.
And but yeah, you guys, I hope you had a good night. Hope you were entertained.
See you later, guys.
Yeah. Wait. I love you all, and God bless. And the zoo is closed. Minions of the Zoo is recorded live on studio in front of a live studio. Wow. All right. Well, you got it. We got it.